Let's see. Okay. Da, 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 da. Okay. Seems that we are live and everything is working fine. My mic and everything. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start the show, guys. Yeah, today's a members only stream, guys. Remember, members only live. Only members can comment, can add their voices. And if you want to become a member, there's 20 Rand a month over there on YouTube. Join a membership there. You'll get access to our WhatsApp group where the audio is coming from. And then we'll go from there. But welcome everybody to the Overthinking Football Show. My name is George Mukwena. I am your host. This show happens every Monday to Friday, 12:30 in the afternoon, and then also Monday to Wednesday at 8 p.m. If there are watch-alongs of the big three, Sundowns, Pirates, Kaizer Chiefs, Banyana, Bafana, any of those big matches, we do watch-alongs. We are going to be doing the watch-along of Bafana tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. So join and you'll see. If you want to see any of the previous shows we've had some incredible discussions over the past few months. They're all available on Facebook and on YouTube. So do me a favor of following the TikTok account, following the Facebook page, and also subscribing on YouTube. Okay, so I've got my members on the line. And there was a suggestion for a topic for today. So I'm going to play an audio clip and then we're going to have a discussion about it. So let me get to the audio clip and then we can go from there. Oh, sorry, guys. Sorry. My audio just cut there. Can you guys still hear me in the panel? Oh.
Yeah, bro.
Okay, it's fine. Do you know what I'll do? I see the audio is not going through to the other side. So basically, the conversation was about legends, and they asked the panelists, the SuperSport panelists, asked the panel of Lebo Mokoena, it was the Stanton Fredericks, Majensi Motale, and I'm forgetting the last one. But I asked them what is a legend, and they spoke about Junior Kanye. And according to them, he's a fan favorite, not necessarily a legend, right? So my question for today becomes, what makes a legend? How does a player earn the status of being a legend?
Hola, Mr. Uchi.
It's Amto.
Sharp. No, man, for me, I like how my international club classifies a legend in a way.
Okay.
So if you spend 10 years unbroken, then you qualify for a testimonial. So which means then you are considered a club legend. So because clearly you won't be given many contracts if you're not good enough to be at the club. So if you are...
James, Mr. Uchi,
Hello?
no sound on TikTok.
At all?
Yeah, at all.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Came in just to tell
Okay,
you.
let's
Thank you. Okay, no, it's working now. Let me just go back, guys. The topic for today, what makes a legend at a club? How do you become a legend? And Umto just started saying that if you spend, at Man United, if you spend 10 years unbroken, then you qualify to get a testimonial and you qualify as a legend. The topic is based off of a conversation that was had before the derby on SuperSport, where they said that Junior Kanye, former players, said Junior Kanye is not a legend at Kaizer Chiefs. He's a cult hero. because he spent 2 years there. And even though the fans loved him, he can't be classified as a legend. So you can continue. Sorry.
Yeah, so now bringing it back to our local game, EPSL, Junior Kanye for me does not qualify as a Chiefs legend. What has he done for Chiefs that we can really claim to remember him for? Did he have a lot of assists? Did he have a lot of goals? What was it that he brought to Chiefs to qualify as? You see, if we take Tembazwane, for example, Tembazwane for me, even though he's still a current player for Mamelodi Sundowns, he is a legend because before era Tembazwane, Sundowns had never won CAF Champions League, now they just won AFN. So there's some legacy yakhe already kumanje. You know what I'm saying? But there are players who have played for Sundowns and they were there, we knew about them, but they never really contributed to his success in Sundowns. So you can't, I don't think it would be fair to compare just because you don't reach as the Chiefs, it doesn't make you a legend. Doesn't make you a legend. And there are many such, even a general manager, Chiefs, Gerald Sibego. Gerald Sibego, for me, I can't consider him a legend. What has he done for the Chiefs? He's a former player. We loved him as a player, whatever. Uchinya Kanyai, Trebling Wizard, we love that because that's in our DNA as South Africans. But honestly speaking, he hasn't contributed to the success of Chiefs to be considered a legend.
If I may ask.
Okay. Yeah, let's have the conversation, guys. It's open.
If I may ask, I'm not a Chiefs fan, but you guys would record me. I'm speaking on record. I can't say this with certainty, but I'm just on top of my head.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Junior Kanye is a legend. Was not a legend, but the previous speaker was on some. What do we remember Junior for? What I remember Junior for was a young boy. Was it 12 games in a row, man of the match, and ahead of, So when we think of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as United, hence we have Ole the legend, we think of the goal in 98. The Bayern Munich, so that's what we remember him for. That's something special that he did for the club, So I'm saying that Junior Kanye did something unique and rare for Chiefs. I don't know if I'm correct by saying he won 12 men of the matches in a row.
I'm not sure. We still had SABC at the time. The matches.
but I think it can be Googled. There's someone Google that for us and can confirm. But I think that's
field agent. Winning 12 men of the matches doesn't qualify you as a legend because then what happened throughout his Chiefs career? He was also mad with ill discipline at some point, to a point where the Chiefs ended up giving up on him. Even with Scapi Malatz, it's the same thing. Scapi Malatz was loved by Chiefs fans, adored by Chiefs fans, but really can be called Scapi a Chiefs legend.
Continue, my brother. Continue.
Yeah, I think you can have that purple patch where you're really, really good. Yeah, because there are some players like that, they hold, especially with strikers. That's what normally happens with some strikers. You'll find when they start, they will have those goals for maybe 15 games in a row. But would you qualify as a legend to just score 15 games in a row and then the rest of your career is non-existent?
That's why I gave an example of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
With Solskjaer, the difference is that for me, he's arguably the best impact player that we have seen at United, because from the bench he was just good. That's why they could not really let him go, because whenever he was coming from the bench, he was very good. So that's a difference for me.
I want to let you Theo.
Hey guys, let me apologize, guys. My network is fractional load shading last, so I'm busy buying back up the network up and up. But yeah, I'll just chip in there and there, guys. I have a question though. How many seasons did Junior Kanye play at Chiefs, guys? Not more than 5 seasons, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was maybe 3 or 4.
Did he win any? Yeah. And how old did he retire? How old was he when he retired? That means it might happen if he retired before the age.
Nah, he went into early retirement.
Oh, I think. So let's say, and what was the reason of his early retirement? It's because he was doing things off the pitch that are not supposed to be done by a player who was supposed to be at Chiefs caliber. I was listening to him in Kulumagu President show. I see, he used to sneak in 6 years at a time at Chiefs. So for me, it's actually a shame that he would say that as in like a joking manner, saying I destroyed my career and it's fun for me. So another thing, guys, why I would never call Junior Kanye Chiefs legend. My understanding of a legend is someone who has won. Sorry.
So there, on there, I want to ask. So Jabupule is not a legend, also, by your criteria.
110. That guy is a legend. I will tell you why. Jabupule played a lot of seasons at Chiefs, won a lot of trophies with Chiefs. He was a development at Chiefs. He left Chiefs as a legend. He left Chiefs as a star at Chiefs, going to Pirates and then going abroad. What my question is, if we say Lomparalona is a legend, Junior, he only played for Chiefs, guys. He only started at Chiefs, and he only started and disappeared at Chiefs. So if we say he's a legend of 3 seasons, there's a problem.
No, but Theo, if you're gonna go by your analogy, then I consider Percy Tau as a Sundowns legend, even though he didn't have a lot of game time, according to you, né? But he made such an impact that we won trophies, even the biggest one, the Champions League, né? So, like, before we go into this conversation, like, we must dissect what the legend term means, right? Legend means that it's stories that people remember about you. It doesn't matter how long you have played. It doesn't matter what you have won for whatever reason. Eh? That is why, but that guy was legend. That the legend of Junior Kanye, the legend of Themba Zwane. Themba Zwane is there. He's a living legend. Hence why there's a term called legendary. So we're gonna remember what Percy Tau did for Sundowns. We're gonna remember what Peter Cholilila does for Sundowns, and definitely Themba. Those are legendary players. Although we had players like Bulubus that are playing for Sundowns, but that's because they played the longest. They doesn't mean they're gonna be legendary. They didn't stand out. So for someone to achieve a legendary status is what.
No, but can I also chip in here, because there's something I agree with you, ne, but there's something where we lose each other a bit. I mean, you can't be considered a legend if you're not disciplined also, because I mean the club had to let you go at some point. So where do we draw the line then?
But
also,
it's what you did for the team.
Can I just jump in?
Yeah.
Does that not take away? Because I feel like whenever we have legend conversations and greatest ever, we're always speaking about strikers, about maybe goalkeepers, people who are at two of the most watched places. How do I become a legend if, let's say, I'm a defender? Or
but for me, Patrick Mabedi, I would consider him a Chiefs legend, because first of all, he was a captain in Chiefs that was successful under Ted Dumitru, if I remember very well. So actually, let me just throw something controversial right now. For me, David Mkumbigano Hadebe is more of a legend than Junior Kanye for Chiefs, because David Hadebe under Ted Dumitru made Mbesuma what Mbesuma was. So for me, contribution at David Hadebe, I pinpoint it, but I can't pinpoint the contribution at Junior Kanye.
You guys wouldn't be having this conversation if Junior Kaizer wasn't telling you what he does on the show. If he can point, you're going to consider him.
I think so too. But I want to say this. My problem is here. Guys. Let's have a standard that this 1, 2, 3, 4 qualifies for you being a legend. We shouldn't say ill discipline disqualifies you, but we know Jabupule's stories. he's a legend. You know, we shouldn't say longevity, but Hadebe is a legend even though he played 2 seasons. Like, let's have consistency. That's what I'm saying. Let's have consistency in. If you're gonna be saying impact, what impact did Kristen Carter have in Chiefs?
Yeah.
You can call him a legend.
That is not a legend.
Mara never invited for in total legend.
Guys,
No, he was
guys,
invited
guys,
as
okay.
not as a legend, guy. You had Bevan Fransman there. Are you telling me that Bevan
But guys-
Fransman is a legend?
Yeah, but I know.
Wait,
Come on,
guys.
guys.
Yes.
Okay. What if we do this? What if we do this?
Wait.
Let's figure out. Okay, what's the
Criteria.
criteria? So
Yeah.
are we gonna look at performance, trophies, longevity? What are we looking at here? And
But
before we
also
say anything
again-
else,
You know, the problem with that is that there is no one size fits all, you know? Because
Yeah.
let's say we look at achievements and records. Let's say in an alternative universe, Teko Modise didn't win any trophies. But we're gonna say Teko is not a legend.
yeah.
Because
But
so
can I add something on that, Neka?
okay, yeah.
I wanna add to Stella. Let's not just say a player is a legend because he plays in one team. Né? When you left that team, you went to another team. What did you do there? Like, let me make an example. You guys are talking like, let's make an example about Xavi and Abo. Those guys, we know them from Barcelona. For the longest time, they served in Barcelona and they did their best in Barcelona. And Iniesta left Barcelona. Xavi never went anywhere, he retired. But he still considered a legend in Barcelona because he served there for the longest time, brought them trophies. He was part of that system, and I understand. But also, had he left Barcelona, they were still going to honor him and say he was their legend, just as Iniesta, just as now they're trying to mess. My point is, Uchunia Kanye, or the player like Uchunia Kanye, he only played for Chiefs and he went out of there. You never saw him go Super Sport, go Swallows in any way. Like, he never impact any other team except only in Chiefs. Now, if we say he's a Chiefs legend, the question is, what if he came at the right time with Chiefs, whereby they were stars, then he was meant to shine?
I
Whereas
think
look at Oscar Ngobese, you know, those guys have been around. Yeah.
I think to drive your point home, name Lega Junior Kanye after Chiefs he went to Imarisbet and vanished from his football.
Yeah,
but so
even that Marisbeck, he was not doing well.
Oh,
exactly.
okay.
So,
Let's be
But what did he do in Marisbeck? What did he do in
Let's be
Marisbeck?
controversial again.
yeah,
Um,
okay, wait. You
for
know
me-
the example Lega Junior Kanye, we can also use it to Sundowns no Lerato Shabango. Is Lerato Shabango a Sundowns legend?
my
Yeah,
guys.
for
No
me,
matter
yes.
I was also gonna ask. Ne?
Yes.
Messi.
Double standard.
Messi is
This
a
is
superstar,
interesting.
and we know he did nothing to PSG, right? But then
Yeah.
again, Ronaldo is a United legend, but he became the ultimate legend going to Go Madrid. So I wonder this legend debate is very subjective, in a way.
But
Yeah.
but you guys, can I zero in something?
Guys,
Okay, so for
Can I
me,
zero in something, guys?
yes, sir.
Let's give each other a chance. Yeah, Charis.
Yeah, you guys, you are going around in circles. It's like you are giving examples where you are not attacking the real thing. What constitutes one becoming a club legend? I can hear everything, but what makes one a legend? That's the question.
Okay,
That's
for
what
me,
we want to hear and hear.
for me, right? Here is
Yes.
it could be one of the following that I'm gonna list out for me that makes a person legend. But
Yes, sir.
sometimes you have a Tom Potekana who's going to perhaps tick all the boxes. That's an absolute legend for me. But you're gonna have a player who's just gonna tick one box. For me, that person also is a legend, because I look at achievements and records. If you have achieved a lot, you have won cups for a team, you are more or less a legend,
Yes, sir.
The influence and impact that he had on the team. Umdokic, even if Umdokic didn't win cups, he was going to be a Chiefs legend, We then look at players, let's say Ozwani. Ozwani, for example, has played for a long time. So for me, I look at longevity. How long have you been playing? and the consistency of it, but just because a player didn't play for a long time, does not make him decided that he's not a legend, And also I look at what I remember you for. If someone says George, I'm like, oh, George was that guy who was presenting on Overthinking Football. He used to have this laugh, he used to have this rant. For me, that's what I consider Ujunia. That when someone says Ujunia, I think of the skills. I think he came on against the game against Sundowns. So I was like, who's this boy? So there are stories to tell. Like he has done legendary things, like what Kumo was saying, that you can say, I remember this person for. So that, for me, those are legends. Yeah.
Okay. For me, I think for me it would have to be consistency of the player, longevity. How long have you been at the club? Your contribution, your discipline, and perhaps maybe then your star power. Because your star power it's an advantage to attackers. You can't allocate that to a defender because they're not dribbling wizards like both Junior Kanye and Chavupoli. So, but there are certain defenders, like I mentioned, Mapedi was a rock for Chiefs. I mean, there was even Nanga area Nahai, there was Nahayo there, who actually did very well for Chiefs. So it's difficult to now say only the skills, the dribbling skills a player count more towards you being a Chiefs legend. So then, which means we are excluding our defenders actually.
No, because focal level, Lucas Radebe is a legendary Leeds legend. He has a vast street. I don't know if he has a statue. Van Dijk, Puyol, those are defenders and
No. I'm talking in terms of the local. International guys. Let's get one thing right. If you are loyal to your club, that's one big mark for you. That's Lucas Atebe at the height of his career was wanted by Alex Ferguson, and he chose to stay at Leeds. So that meant a lot for Leeds United. That's why he's considered such a big club legend there. So I understand when it comes to international, but in the local game, which defender do we really classify as a Chiefs legend? Because if we're using Junior Kanye as a yardstick, for me, Junior Kanye is not a Chiefs legend, guys. Come on.
I think this thing is personal. This thing is personal. That's the problem. This thing is personal.
And you know what else, guys? If I could just quickly say, the other problem is, I do player biographies. And when you actually drill down into some of these players, their stats, some of the guys that we call legends, their stats, assists, goals, games played, games won. Guys, some of these people, we're remembering them because we love them. When you actually see the stats, Mutu, 22 games, and you're like, hi, man.
And that's true. And also, he was not even called up for Ibafana Bafana, but he's considered a legend.
Yeah. He's not talking about Junior, guys. Let's get our Venus back out.
No, I'm not even talking. Do you know what's funny, Agent? I'm not even talking about Junior. Most of our legends, when you look at like their stats, like just games played for each team or whatever, you'll see that, hey, you think this person has been playing for 6 years. Khanti, they had 2 seasons and they went away. You know what I mean? Like, Abom Besuma had, 1 proper season at Kaizer Chiefs. If you ask Chiefs fans now, you think he played for 4 years. You know what I mean? Like, I think that also plays into our how we see them.
Yeah. And also, a legend.
I do the same.
Generations of new footballers or new football fans. Do they remember Ntofo when they choose archives? Because as much as you say Junior Khan is not a legend, but like we know him. Whenever we think of Junior Khan, we think of Chiefs. Kids know Junior Khan. That's a legendary man. Not about what he did for Chiefs, but do you remember him for whatever reason you remember him for? That's a legendary. That's the definition of a legend.
No, I don't agree with that definition because then it means Utabo Rakala is a Pirates legend.
But guys, can we agree to disagree with this? certain legends are legends based on how we feel about them and how we see them, our view of them. But I
True that. That's
But
true.
someone was
based
saying,
on the question that was posed on the table,
I know someone was saying,
legends.
we shouldn't go to Europe. You know, if someone says Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, someone is saying super sub. You know, that's what he became legendary for. Like, there's a certain attribute that we say this person was unique in this sense. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not a Chiefs fan, so I can't tell you guys Fabian McCarthy is not a legend or he's not a legend. I'm not into that. But what I'm saying is, have we ever seen anyone mesmerize the crowd for 12 games, man of the match, as young as he was, ever since junior, and even before him, you know?
Yeah.
So that's the point that Ukuma is trying to point, that he was doing something unique and rare. And that unique and rare thing,
No.
unless it becomes a norm.
Pule was doing it. Pule was doing it.
But guys, let's go.
Karambo
Let's go to the broader thing. My question is, some of these players, and I don't want to stick to the teams. I want to look at it broadly. Some of these players are only legends in our eyes because they played for certain teams. Can I
just correct it, Mr. OT? What Junior Kanye, what Tabo Rakali, maybe even your Supon Nunens, a lot of those are fan adored players. They are not legends. We adore them. Let's differentiate between the two.
But
we adore them, but they are not legends. Yeah, well,
but there's something that they wrote in that thing. Actually, they were legends, and then there was former players, right?
Yeah.
So, Mbek said, for an example, you look at Jimmy Tao. You can't say Jimmy Tao is a Chiefs legend. I would rather say he's a Pirates legend than Chiefs. Yet he came to Chiefs, he became a former player at Chiefs. So, Tina Jengama fans, we will come in and say, Jimmy Tao is our legend because we want to claim him. The Pirates will come and say, no, he's not their legend because he left them. But in actual fact, the biggest.
Are we saying he's a legend? Are we saying he's a legend because he only played for Chiefs and Pirates, or he's a legend because that's who he is? Counting the both of the teams that he played for.
No, we're also counting the impact that he made in both of those teams. He was a captain at Pirates. He was a captain at Chiefs. He was a starter at Pirates, a starter at Chiefs. Won trophies with Pirates, won a trophy with Chiefs. Those things they have to counter. You understand? It's like with the Modise guys. At some point, I remember he was on. At some point, Teko was on radio. He said, "I'm a Pirate supporters. They still claim him as their legend. Whereas Sundown is saying is their legend. But he said, he belongs wherever his heart is at. And he said he loved both teams. But when you look at him, the height of his career, where he was playing at his best, it was at Pirates. And the height of his career in getting trophies was at Sundowns. But then you cannot say he's not a Pirates legend because he left Pirates for Sundowns. You cannot say he's not a Sundowns legend because he won trophies with Sundowns but not with Pirates. That's my point.
I love that example. So what was Junior's contribution there?
Guys,
wait.
I wanna let in the person who started this chat. Malume Kuto, you started this chat.
You started this
you're making us Nabalaza here. We can't hear you. Something's up with the mic.
Hello.
Yes.
Can you hear us now? Can I see you talking, but nothing's happening.
No, I've entered.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, there we go.
No, I'm listening to Majita and we're making some good points, Kilawana, but they're choosing to take a dim view. And to address a dim view on a specific individual, I just want to ask one question. And I would be happy if someone said yes or no. Is Cristiano Ronaldo a Sporting Lisbon legend?
No,
definitely not.
No. Not
because he hasn't contributed to his success here Sporting. So how do you define a legend again? Because for me, there must still be some sort of contribution.
let's allow Abutu Kusi. He said yes or no. Let's allow him the time
Yeah,
to.
and people are elaborating. For me, I would say he is a legend. And someone who is exactly like him, similar to what CR7 did, is currently in existence and active in football, and his jersey has been retired, and that is Jude Bellingham. He played one season. He played one season there. His jersey has been retired because they saw the legendary status that he would hold one day. Sometimes you become a legend for things that you did later on. I can tell you now, Ucheris Kosana, when he scored that goal to give a Pirates a AFCON, he didn't know how big it would be. Same goes for the Sundowns players who have just won this AFL. They don't know which what they've done. This thing might go on for 100 years, and Aubrey Mudiba's name will go down as an African legend. The guy who scored the winning goal in the final. For now, it's just another plastic trophy. Wait until it's like 45 teams competing, and they've invited the world and more to participating in this tournament, or Alaska FC, a new team that will be dominating the world, is now participating in that very tournament. Then they will go back and reference and say, who was the first player to score in the final? It will be Peter Shajulile and Aubrey Mudiba. So sometimes the legendary status is not confirmed immediately. It's confirmed much later on because we go back to the term legend. It simply means that do you have a story behind your name? Amachita with Sundowns are asking us a very good question. Who, top of mind, has and I'm gonna cut the number in half, has gotten 5 men of the matches back to back? Tell me one guy who has done that back to back. They might not want to claim him as the legend because he stands on the mountain and he insults them every day. But tell me one player who has gotten five men of the matches back to back. You'll find it very difficult. You might have to Google and you might have to spend
And at her
2
age.
hours.
And at her age.
And at that age, you understand. We right now we talk about
but guys, there are one hit wonders also.
I'm chilling for 30 minutes. How much more do you?
No, but guys, there are one hit wonders also, because for me, you can have one great season and then does it classify you as a legend, man?
It's a story again.
Back to Kuzo. as Mr. Oti was saying, Untofontov had one great season achieved.
Yeah, but we sold him to a Premier League club afterwards. So,
but it doesn't change
that one season. That one season made such a difference, so much that his record hasn't even been broken. Namanje. Nobody has got the number of goals.
Surely you don't get man of the match for being on the bench. You get man of the match because you made the greatest contribution on that game. And if it's 10 or 12 back to back, it means you are actually the star player of the team.
Because my commentator they were fans. They were fans.
So
wait, Malume Kutso, before you carry on, can I just ask you a question? I like this point you're making. Can it work the other way around? That maybe 25 years from now, we'll look back at, I don't know, Brian Onyango, and we'll go, Yazdi, Brian Onyango. Hey, Began It doesn't happen. Can it happen that way?
No. I think here's the thing. I think if you're gonna say Umval, I was gonna say yes. Because we look at his impact, Yes, he had his mistakes, but he was a defender. He was not a bench warmer.
Yeah.
You're talking about a bench warmer there.
No, but the reason why I'm asking, to Malume Kutso's point, the reason why I'm asking is, when we remember these legends, are we remembering them for the whole season, or are we remembering them because we're told that they're legends, or are we remembering them because Junior Kanye had 12 men of the match run, right? What is helping us remember these things, and can we trust ourselves? Malume Kutso.
Can I give you something that will probably shock you, unless if you already know it? So when Messi became a GOAT, was it this year or late last year, people started like exposing some serious stats here. because then it was Messi versus Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Ronaldo was then out of the picture. It became Messi, Maradona, and Pele. Someone actually pointed out that from the 3 World Cups that Pele played, there's only one where he was a main feature. The other one apparently got injured first game.
Yeah.
And then he still has 3 World Cups. Exactly.
Yeah.
You can't even. And then the other one apparently was an old player, something like that. So he actually featured in 1 World Cup, which he won. But at the end of the day, next to his name, it's 3 World Cups. Show me anyone else who was able to sit on the bench or be injured for 3 World Cups. Not many people. Actually, nobody. It's just him. You understand? However, I used to argue again with people when they spoke about achievements. When I loved Teko Modise to bits, and they would say, "What has he done for Pirates?" I was like, you can't really cite only trophies. I watched him with my eyes. I know what he did for Pirates. But if you wanna reference trophies, I will ask you, Brighton Mhlongo is probably sitting somewhere with a double treble. Would you say he gave us a double treble?
Yeah. And he played all those games, didn't he? He started all those games and played all those games.
Whereas he was actually third choice for a double treble, Brighton Mhlongo. The main guys were Abu
Oh,
Monique
sorry, I
Joseph.
thought Benzin. Sorry.
Brighton.
Yeah.
Brighton Mhlongo. He was third choice, and the main guys they were Abu Senzo, Nabo Kanakimang, Hortman, Monique Joseph.
Monique, yeah.
Who would you say Brighton Mhlongo was a bigger legend than Teko Modise? Not
Yeah.
No,
necessarily.
but I'm gonna contribute to Brighton. He was on the bench. He didn't contribute to the double treble. So for me, no.
Okay,
No.
wait. I think the problem that we're doing is that we're doing this legendary status off of big teams. What makes me a Wits legend? What makes me a Super Sport legend? What makes me a Black Leopard legend? Because when we do trophies...
You're reminding me of a point by raising it that way, Manj. Because there's a guy that scored 15 goals and left the league. He's a legend, Cosmos. Chris Katongo. Yeah, so Chris Katongo for me qualifies even as a PFN legend because what he did was I don't think
I know. You see this thing of shifting posts.
Oh guys, I need to justify, substantiate my point. I mean, this guy left January transfer window in the middle of the season, but he was still the top goal scorer at the end of the season. So basically again, that for me, it's unheard of. I had Junior ngale 12 game run here, came a man of the match, done something amazing at the end of the season. Saibona and Bebambega. That would have qualified him for me.
That is amazing, 12 men of the match on its own. What more do you want?
No, but okay.
My worry is shifting of the post when it comes to Junior.
Guys,
He actually won the
I
league.
think we are missing the point. Let's leave Junior for a second. Let's leave Junior for a second. Man. The reason why, guys, I'm saying let's leave Junior a break now. You look at guys like
Junior he's not a Chiefs legend.
Let's listen to the guy who has
Hey guys, Theo, go ahead.
Guys, what I want us to understand, or what I want us to even indulge in, you look at players like Abu Surprise Moriri. Let's go back on Sundown Penny. You look at Abu Boman, this guy, man, that Abu Mashik. I don't know if you remember that guy, Mashik. Went to Pirate from Paris, then went to Sundown, and he was a high scoring Pirate. You look at those guys, man. For me, Takeo Mashik, thinking of that. The reason why I consider those guys legends is because you look at him at his own team, the original team that he was in, he was making impact game after game, you saw quality, and then he goes to other teams, he still impresses, and you look at them, you look at the guy like Ukhrop, like Super, he has been there.
Hey, network,
the longest time.
Must move back to the corner. That corner was working for him.
Look at the players like Kabucha. Play Jabupule, guys. Jabupule comes with his, creativity, skillfully. He's looking at about Oxel, right? Like that. Those are the guys that he's looking up to. He comes, he plays, and he does things that we're like, wow, this is beautiful. He gets a call up. He goes to South Africa. Bafana represents, and then all of that. You understand? And then he goes abroad. He does his thing, his trickery. He comes back, he runs away, he comes back, and then he does this thing, and then we see, okay, this guy man had talent, this guy had the potential to become one of the best players that South Africa has ever produced, but he doesn't live up to that. But he's considered a legend because of what he could have become and what he did in those small moments, go Pirates, go Chiefs, abroad, go Super Sport. But still, when he retires, he doesn't retire as a global phenomenon or South African phenomenon in that sense. But we still recognize him as a legend because he brought something for the longest time and also consistency. And also, he even got rewards for that, which is going to another team and impressing and going abroad. So for me, my understanding, when we talk about a legend, guys, it's not just about man of the matches, goals, career, what, but consistency has to be key. Secondly, have you been considered by other teams of saying, if you can bring this guy can become something greater in us? Yeah. So for me, I'm not against junior guys. I don't. That's why I said let's not include him. You go to guys like Abu Sikholela. I made an example of Sikholela with Pirates. Sikholela, we knew he goes to a corner, he bringing crosses. Rachel is skillful, like skill. Masuku, those were skillful players. But you cannot come and sit down and say they are Pirates legends. Why? Because consistency was not really there. Even though they were there in Paris for the longest time, there was not that good consistency. There was not that showing of hands of saying, I'm the best of the best. There has been someone better than them before. That's why I'm saying a legend, you're not just a legend. Like Abu Nzama is considered a legend because he played that left, that right back. He was, he was in and out. You saw him for the longest time and he was consistent in that. So for me, consistency is key, guys, more than anything.
Can I also add? Sorry, Chance. So there's a legend by impact, and then there's legend by longevity. And guys, I'm making these terms up. I feel like they describe properly. Before you Google and come back and say, so there's a legend by impact, and then there's a legend by longevity. That's why you'll struggle to define Unzama. You'll find yourself accepting that Unzama is a legend, but it will be difficult for you to justify when you're using things such as stats and impact and what have you. So Abunzama, Abu Paulos Masihe, Abu Kanakimang, Luckily Khwat, those guys I would consider them legend by longevity. But then you have players like Abototsongele who come to a team that has never won a cup before, and they literally single-handedly destroy the Pirates back-to-back in 2 finals. That is a Platinum Stars legend. Well, Platinum Stars doesn't exist anymore. So when you look at Utsotongele, you're like, yo, I remember that guy banging free kicks when Pirates thought they were home and dry. I think that guy once got 2 free kicks in a row. That guy from New Zealand, Jeremy Brokey. That guy has put us to the sword. I mentioned these players because they killed the Pirates when we were moving closer to a title. Another one is Umtanzane, Lowe Chiefs. That guy's a Baroka legend. He gave Ibaroka a cup final, and not only a cup final, he gave them the actual Telkom Knockout Cup. So impact yake. Even if he plays for 1 season.
I agree with both speakers now. The contributions that you guys have just brought in, Manje, that's exactly how we should. Because then again, I have to ask, I'm sorry to mention the J word again. Junior, which team have you shaken like the players that you've just mentioned? We know Ungele used to destroy Pirates, used to Tanzania did so well for Ibarok. Exactly, if we're quantifying the contribution of Junior, how do we measure it, Kathy? That's what I don't like.
Can I ask a question? Can I ask a question? Before you go in? How many of us here remember Junior Kanye's games? Not head,
this is what I wanted to get to. Thank you, agent.
Not by hearing. Because for me, I see Junior Kanye, that small boy, coming and mesmerizing Sundowns. you know, because I think that's what I'm like, guys. Can anyone say I watched 12 games or 13 games when he was that man of the match? That I'm talking about.
Yeah, but agent, I also remember. Why do I remember the performance of Jabupule go Coca-Cola final? In fact, it even made Ujomo Cosmos say that, you know what, Pule just won that game for his Chiefs. Yeah, because he was just on fire on that game. But I don't remember a performance they won. And I could see Junior had the potential, he was good, a dribbling wizard or I can't take that away from him. But man. I don't have anything that I can show that, you know what, this was Junior's contribution.
Guys, I think we remember. Guys, there's a player by the name of Tusopala. You remember Tusopala, right?
Yes.
Chiefs, Platinum Stars, Sundowns. Is that guy considered any legend of any team for that matter? Which team is a legend of, guys?
Super Sport and Platinum Stars.
Super Sport, I think he's a Super Sport legend.
And a Platinum Stars.
Oh, he's
legend.
not
And
he's not a Chiefs legend.
No, it's not.
So he's not a Chiefs legend or a Sundowns legend.
Hi guys, can we just be careful at throwing around these legends labels, man?
I think that's. I wanted to say, now that I remember, you are saying there's a certain guy who did something extraordinary. He came here half a season and went by. Never came back that season and came back and won. So you are remembering him for that particular period, you know?
Because he left more players who PSL and nobody could match what he had left.
Yes, now Ufina Kenya's long left. He was a drunkard, is what is long left. No one has ever matched that record. You know?
Which record? Okay, now ask me how many goals did Junior Kanye have in the Chiefs jersey?
Yeah. Assist.
Who's asking? Who's asking?
Yes.
Who's asking? I've got my phone to my ear. Who's asking about Junior Kanye's goal?
Kitchwen's asking.
I want to ask something. I need you to answer me off the bat. Don't take time. How many goals does Jabupule have for Chiefs? Don't play with us, guys. Don't play with us.
No, but that's why I was saying that's why I asked the question. What are we remembering? Because I sometimes get the feeling that when we say legends, it's hearsay and stories. You'll find Gucci, some of the legends were incredible, unplayable for 5 games out of 3 years. And we remember them because of those 5 years. How much does that play into this? Because, hey, I've been thinking about these SA legends, and when you think about their games, you can't remember that many, guys.
And Mr. Uti, can I just say, guys, it's very difficult. It's a tricky one because people make it seem as if what he did was so unbelievable. He scored, I think it was 15 goals, and then he left mid-season. If he had scored 21, I'd be like, yeah, because we've seen so many players score many goals and end there with the entire season. Only pass a bang bomber 10 goals just now. When was the last time you scored? So just because you've scored 15, it doesn't mean you're going to...
Marakiri, there's no story. There's no story. No one remembers Tekili Tuaba, top goal scoring and getting relegated.
I actually I was about to mention him. We have our Tekili Tuaba, we have Abu McDonald Mukanzi, who also have scored probably the same number of goals, 15. However, the thing is,
I think if you score 15 goals in 15 games, that's something else. Come on, guys, one goal per game.
10 goals in like 7 games.
Yeah, but the difference is that Ukatongo left. Had he continued, what if he could have reached 30 goals in 30 games? We don't know.
That's what I'm cautioning. No, hear me out. That's what I'm cautioning with. Do not imagine anything.
Are you November?
Do not imagine anything. We're not just take it as 15 goals the entire season. Because
but that's what I'm judging him on.
Wait.
That's what I'm judging him on. He played 15 games and scored 15 goals. That is good.
You're going to keep missing the point because you don't want to listen. Uli Pasa scored something like 10 goals or something like that within a short space of time. And I'm gonna make up numbers. He probably scored 10 goals in 7 games. It's been 17 games. He remains at 10 goals. He's not overseas, my friend. He's still here.
Yeah.
So we can't start imagining after 10 goals if you
No,
score.
no, but I don't think the comparison is fair. Is the
Wait,
comparison fair
who-
because
But guys-
someone played 15 games and scored 15 goals and left. Wabashiya Bolipasa, whoever was there at that time, bahluleka ukuyicover leyo 15 goals leyo. So
And if
for
you
me,
investigate him, you'll find out that's his only golden boot. You'll be surprised.
no, but Katongo was a consistent
But
goal scorer for
okay,
HM
wait.
Cosmos.
Theo?
But guys, what I want to allude when it comes to this thing about goals, guys, is what Etienne now our examination is very true. We don't know. He could have scored more, he could have not scored more. But the point is, I want to make something that I know would see pixel it discipline, guys. I think it does play a role in a player becoming a legend. You look at Balotelli. I know you guys didn't say one way to use European players, but I just want to make that example, guys. Balotelli go Man City, he did what he did, scored goals, did everything, and then he started being a Balotelli because of that racism thing, and then starts playing nonsense. And after that, they had to let go of him. They would never. There's no way they are gonna wake up saying he's a legend. Never, because of what he did. So isn't it fair? Huh?
Legend, man. He's a
Mara, you
legend.
just said
Never.
But that's not concerning
Never.
us, man.
Not
That's
Man
not
City
concerning us,
legend.
man.
Actually,
We
Wait,
can't
guys,
ignore
there is why
a lot
I'm
of
saying
legends,
that,
just
man.
labeled players legends.
The reason why I'm making that statement is because you look at what Uche Junior did at Chiefs, guys. As much as we can say he did well, Balotelli did even far well. Women City, cups, goals, banging, creation, everything. But the way he left was so disturbing to a point where certain fans or even the management started hating him. You understand? So Junior Kanye, it's not
So,
like
Theo,
he is
answer me
it's like
this,
in the hate
So does he hate
most
you?
of you
So
guys.
does so does
ne?
so does you
Kuma?
being hated?
Balotelli stats and his
Lama
achievements.
Santawana lao.
Are you gonna remember
Hmm?
him for his achievements, or are you gonna remember him for his discipline problems?
Just say that again, Kuma.
Discipline.
In 10 years' time, so 20 years' time, when we are old, ne? So when people look at Mario Balotelli,
Have been disciplined. His achievements.
and what he has achieved, right? Are you going to remember that he was a troubled soul, or are you going to remember him for what he has achieved? So that is why
No, the thing is,
discipline
the thing
it
that
doesn't have to be a factor because it's something very fickle. People forget unless you were in their generation.
the thing that it
That saw him play live.
Kumo, can I give
But
you?
Kumo.
Can I solidify your response,
Okay,
if you allow me?
please.
Can I solidify Kumo's response? Elmando Diego Maradona.
Yes.
Exactly.
What do you remember Maradona for?
But Maradona won the World Cup for Argentina.
But guys,
And he won the league for Napoli when Napoli had not won a league before.
Yes.
So Maradona,
Keep
that's something
telling us his
tangible.
achievements. Keep telling us his
Yeah,
achievements.
but
What else
it's
did he
something
do?
tangible. That's what I'm saying.
What
We
else
can't
did he do?
just classify a player a
Wait, what
legend
else did he
because
do?
Utreble wafaka
telling us-
umuntu spy too. Hi guys.
Yeah, so listen. The point I wanted to drive up is that you'll never remember him for the drug abuse and everything. You'll remember him for his achievements, which is the point Kumo was making. Give me some more. What else did Maradona do?
Okay, listen. Let's correct this thing. Wait, guys, let's correct this. Maradona he was not just a legend in Napoli because of the league. The World Cup played the thing. Him in Argentina made him, solidified him in Napoli to be the best of the best. When he came into the field, everyone was watching him and saying, wow. But the reason why I'm bringing up Balotelli is because I'm trying to bring in the fact that when he left, it's not about what happens when you're there. Those things I think they can find a way to forgive you. But when you leave, it's the way that you leave that defines whether you're gonna be a legend or not. You understand? You look at Zuma when I forgot the team that he was playing.
Can I ask you, George? Can I ask you, George?
Wait, guys.
George, can I ask you, George? Is Ben Pacey a national legend?
Yes.
Okay, no problem.
No, do you know why? People remember the season before he left, when he top goal scored for us before going to Man United. they don't know the 8 seasons before that where he was top goal scorer up to injury almost every season. And he used to get injured early. And then I think for a team that doesn't have those big trophies, things like that play in more than, you get what I mean?
And
So
what
for
about
Manchester United, he's a legend. Why? Won them the league. You get what I mean? They didn't have to deal with the injuries and things like that. So for me, it's different with different teams.
Yeah,
What about
how did
Cesc?
you leave? The point that you guys are putting across is how you leave also matters. So I'm like, how did Van Persie leave?
Oh
Do you
no,
guys
me, I
were
don't.
lucky? You guys
I
were
don't
lucky?
care. Do you know why I don't put much stock into that stuff? I
No,
don't put
but
much stock into that stuff because
okay.
we don't know. Maybe Umuntu, if there's a player that you love who kept coming late to practice, didn't get anything said. About Junior became famous because it's match time. Akekho Junior, sazi ukuthi uphi. Utavupule disappeared for 2 weeks. I'm sorry. We don't know the extent of these things, and I want to
What
get
about
away from subjective
what about
things
Cesc?
because I don't
What
know,
about
guys.
Cesc?
Yeah,
Mr. Uti, what about Cesc
Hi,
Fabregas?
guys.
for me, Cesc is a
Yeah,
legend
I
for
wanted
me.
to go there.
Do you
Guys,
know
guys,
do
guys,
you know what
listen.
Cesc did? Wait, do
Guys,
you know what Cesc did?
When he was crying for
dude.
Barcelona for 3 years.
Cesc bought
Yes.
himself. Cesc Cesc bought
But
himself.
guys, listen. But guys,
Barcelona.
But does that take away? But does that take away from what he's done? I think that's my thing
That's my
because
point.
Mbesuma
Point.
Mbesuma could have left screaming and done everything wrong. But Tuksalayo, the record is
yes,
there. Do we
yes.
take
I'm
it away
struggling to
from
hear you
them?
guys. Can one person speak at least? Because I'm struggling to hear now. I'm old. There's no longer here.
I'll be back in 10 minutes. I'm going to Google. Junior Kanye is a legend. I'll be back.
No, but guys, look. I just want to say, I think that's why this discussion is so tough because I think a lot of us can't just say, I really love this player. Like I really loved him. And I'm telling you now, when I did those player profiles, I remember I think I was doing Atazwan. And I'm like, yo, Tentriple, I love him with all my heart. I looked at the stats and I'm like, hi man. He had 3 seasons. He hardly played in those seasons. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm like, and I sat back to myself and I thought, do I love him? Like, why do I love him? Is it because of the stats? And that's where this conversation becomes murky because some players, we just love them, guys, especially in the South African context.
No, that's
Also
true.
because of of the obvious legendary story. Someone told you that this guy was a Chiefs legend. Someone made you fall in love with Avazwani because you haven't seen him play, but maybe your uncle or dad told you that this guy was brilliant. Isn't it so? That is what makes you a legendary player.
Yeah. And you know what else
but
chooses,
guys,
but you know what else, Kumo, you know what else plays into this? My legendary moments that I remember from Kaizer Chiefs are different to somebody who's outside Kaizer Chiefs looking in. So maybe I love Watazwane for the 2 goals that he scored that 2 months that we played, right? I love him completely because it meant everything to me for whatever reason, right? And I remember that. But if we're to look at it objectively, it's like you didn't impact anything, you didn't do much. Like you were hot, but you didn't do much. It's like saying, agent, I'll ask you about Dimitar Berbatov. Dimitar Berbatov scored 11 goals the one season, and I think most of the time came on, scored 5 goals in one match, you know? So then when you look back at it from stats, you'd think, Dimitar was amazing that season. But then when you look at it, guys, it's like, oh no, he scored 5 goals and then went back to the bench. And then I think he scored a hat trick that season and then went back to the bench, you know?
No,
That's why.
I think
That's
with certain players, there are some matches that endear you to those players. For example, I remember Uchon Bartlett played for Chiefs and he scored a last-minute equalizer against the Pirates. That's what I'm always going to remember Sean Bartlett for Go Chiefs. So some of the players like Watazwane could have been that, because maybe in a big game, a cup game, you remember that moment and then you love the player because of that. So it could also be that.
And
Also,
you
I
know
wanted
who
to
else
say,
is a perfect example of an impact player? I'm gonna use international players again as an example. Divock Origi. We all know he wasn't really getting game time, like starting all the time in Liverpool. But what he did for us for Barcelona, for Everton, Davi, Mr. Davi, he's a legend at Liverpool, even though he wasn't a regular starter.
Clutch player. Clutch player.
So,
I wanted to say,
There's a
I wanted
question
to
for you
say,
guys,
I wanted to say that Amy Martinez is a Argentinian legend. Because for one thing, I don't think people are going to remember the penalties and everything like that. I think that one save from Colomboyani is always going to enjoy him.
But when we go to national teams, it becomes even more murky, man. Because if we look at Macaps, Aaron Mukwena, is Aaron Mukwena a Bafana legend?
Yeah, he's got a soul.
That guy costed us World Cup, Baba. Hey.
But that's what I was saying, Guti. It's easy to do it. It's easy to do it for teams that have trophies. I wanted to know, Guti, if I don't have a trophy, how do I classify a legend? You get what I mean? That will be the telling thing.
Okay, quick question.
Longevity and consistency.
Because you haven't won anything like your team from 2015.
Nazo. So I was shocked when they said Katande. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah?
I was shocked when they said Katande.
Guys. Send me personal kumo man.
I'm asking how it's personal. It's a fact. Since 2015, you have won. So are you saying we have no generation of legends currently now?
And
let me be honest
Kumo, just to add on to that, and on top of that, here's my issue with some of the conversations. Themba Zwane, let's say, is the Sundowns legend because Unali League 7, Unali AFL, Unali what, all these things played well consistency. Then you're gonna take him and you're gonna put him in the same room with somebody who just had longevity. Doesn't that become unfair as well?
But guys, he played for the badge, though. He played for the badge, guys. Like this thing, I mean, I think is also the management also has a part to play. You look at Brian Balo, especially teams, guys. I don't want to lie to you. At teams, they are very, very nothing. They are very choosy. Muhammad in Kabe and Vele, it's a problem. So I would say, you look at your guys like Abon Zama. I mean, there are many guys that you can count that you look at them and you're like, but how was he a legend at team? But because of the servanthood, like the heart of the badge, loving the team, I think that does matter, guys. And the discipline.
I think
the discipline as well.
But you mentioned Nzama. Are you saying Nzama is not a Chiefs legend?
You should not be. What did he do for you?
Nazo.
So the defender, should defend that about. When he was
Lucas
consistent,
No, but you look at the guy like Lucas Khatebe. There's a big difference between him and Zama. So putting them in the same level is a challenge.
I beg to differ when it comes to Cyril Nzama. I can defend that chap. I like the example. I think somebody said we should judge also on how long the player stayed with the club, because honestly, it shows this person was for the club. His heart was for the club. I mean, to have stayed as long as he has and has won the cups. He wasn't the most gifted right back that Chiefs has had. I mean, I think Chiefs has had Swissem Daum or whoever, but you can't say Cyril Nzama is above Usis and all of that. So, and I mean with the greatest respect, he was not the most talented of right backs that we've had, but he is a legend because of how long he stayed and how disciplined he was. And at some point, I think he even got the armband. So you don't just get an armband for a top legend in Chiefs if you are not somebody who's.
But doesn't that make everybody a legend? Isn't there too many legends now?
I know
must be a legend somewhere.
Or maybe we should have a section for legends and veterans then.
Kumo. No, my boy. When you always bring order, man.
Fans, eh?
Yes,
I'm not
thank you.
surprised.
Thank
Sundowns
you.
fans.
But
Oh,
guys,
no.
Cyril
I.
Nzama, okay, wait. Can I just say something? Cyril Nzama as he was not the best or most gifted right back in the country, right? But you must also remember that that guy went to the World Cup. Nah? He played for Bafana Bafana. He has a lot of caps for Bafana Bafana, that guy. And he scored goals for Chiefs. I remember vividly Cyril Nzama scoring goals and doing that celebration up in Yimana that we saw now recently.
The
You know?
Cobra, yeah.
Yeah, the Cobra. You get what I'm saying? So for me, now, okay, I heard that there's now a seat for veterans and legends. You know? But I think Cyril Nzama deserves that, man. Like
I
that
think for
guy
me,
served, he was very disciplined. You know,
Guys, I think let's be honest, guys. I want to go PSN. It's a bit tricky to define legend for the clubs, man. Because we struggle with the consistency and some of the things, the attributes that we've been mentioning here. So that's what makes it a lot more tricky.
I think
Gerald Sibego is the legend the chief.
I don't want to answer. No, I think that there should be 5 criteria points, but then you should have a scale on each of them. So I may not have been at the club for a long time, but if I look at Bissouma, wasn't a Chiefs for a long time, but what he did was so great performance-wise. Others may have been at a team for a long time. Maybe your performance is lacking, Yana, but maybe you won trophies because you played every day. You were starting line. But Michael Carrick, you were starting lineup every day. John O'Shea, those type of people. So I think we're trying to do one thing, but I think it has to be maybe 5 or 6 criteria, and then each of those criteria say 10 points. Then you can account for when udale 10 years, but you weren't a star, but you've got trophies. Maybe we should call you a legend because you played all of those games or was a key part of those teams. When you played 30 games, but you scored 57 goals. That is incredible. You get what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys agree.
I wanted to say that, if we take it globally, taking everyone into account, so that I don't. Oops, what's going on here? Okay, so yeah, I wanted to say that. What is this guy's name? This useless Liverpool donkey. The commentator. Who likes being with. Yeah, I'll remember his name, but he does commentary. What is this guy? Jamie.
Oh, yeah, Jimmy Dow.
No, Jamie Carragher.
Oh, Jamie Carragher, yes.
He likes saying there is these tables. I think if we were to put these legends in a table, there's a top table where you'd find Bailey, Maradona, Cristiano, Ronaldo, and then there's a second table, then I think that tables, if we were to put them in a hall, there'll be tables where you'll find Okekana there, because I think Kekana, any box that you give to him, he ticks it, He's going to be in that top
disrespected. Okekana.
Yeah, he's underrated. Imagine I'm bringing him now. Imagine, and I'm a Sundowns fan. But he ticks all the boxes. Any box that you can bring for a legend, he ticks it. And then you have people like Esrom Nyandoro. Esrom Nyandoro is a legend to me, but you look at Utiane Mabunda. Utiane Mabunda has 3 times the trophies that Nyandoro has.
I was going to ask you about Diana.
So yeah, I think
Okay, wait, agent. When you say that about tables, let me ask this, then we can close. Ne?
Yeah.
Top tier table.
Top tier PSN. Can we have some names? Topest of the topest. What are the names?
The one name. Okay, no, go for it, agent.
Okay, for me, I'm just gonna say on top of my head, I think Kekana is there, Mdokish is there. I'm not sure about legs of standard, but yeah, maybe there. Yeah, you guys can continue.
Wait. Now this is where it gets tricky. Let me change the question one more time. Top tier from 2000.
Now you're picking my brains. I think
Yes, from 2000.
I think I'm gonna speak for my team. I think Zwane has to be there. I think what is this guy's name? Kekan has to be there. And like it or not, I think knowledge has to be there, among others.
Knowledge.
Yeah. Hey, no, not knowledge. Yeah, I retract knowledge. Now that I think about it, I retract knowledge.
Ow. Anybody else? Yes, Clay, man. Dane Clay. Hey, they fought me.
Yeah. No, Dane Clay is definitely there for me because of I think he's the most is the player that has won the most cups in the PSL.
He won the league 5 times in a row.
Yeah. So for that reason, his seat is definitely there. Yeah, and then obviously current thing Mshishi that deserves to be on that table, that top tier table. Mshishi definitely deserves to be there. Who else?
Would you put Kune there?
Definitely.
It's tricky because Manje in legacy, I feel like
no
it's
better goalkeeper that's been in the
past
few years. Like
the best goalkeeper of the
he's
21st
had a
century.
great run from a young age.
Guys. Speaking of keepers,
By the way.
where do you guys play Onyango and Wayne?
Who?
Onyango.
Sunderland.
Onyango, yeah. I'd say he's one of the best. You know.
Yeah. Onyango, there was a time when he was like the best keeper. Yeah, at some point. Yeah. So maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you see, it's tough after 2000, guys. We need some names, guys. After 2000.
Mara goalkeepers legendary like to come man. Brian Baloyi. Why is Kolo?
Yeah.
Legendary goalkeeper Brian Baloyi. I got 2000.
No.
Before
The tricky thing with Baloyi is
okay. Maybe Mr. OT. Maybe Mr. OT, we should have the homework of doing a starting 11, say to Songe, or maybe the top tier table, and then the players that appear the most, then clearly they've got a seat there.
But it was meant to be easy. So it was meant to be. I was speaking about legends.
We're not gonna agree. We're not gonna agree here now because somebody's gonna say Wayne Sunderland, and for me, I'm like, no, yeah, boy. So that's the
I was talking about current or former players because legends are former players.
From 2000, Kumo. From 2000. Now I want names from 2000. 23 years because whenever we speak.
Former or current players. I agree with some players who played in 2000 aren't playing anymore.
Yeah.
I'm talking about
I'm talking about in general. I'm talking about in general, both playing and retired, because some of the players that are playing now have done enough to be considered a legend. For example, if Themba Zwane doesn't play well for the next 5 years, no one's going to say he's not a legend. You get what I mean? But what I'm trying to illustrate is that it's easy for us to say legend about Mtogis, even though some of us have never. I don't know. I've only watched a handful of Mtogis matches, to be honest with you. I hear from people saying Mtogis, but from the people we know and we have some memories of and we've watched up to this point, it's tough to select legends, and I think it's because there's no spin yet. When I was there, I'm a spin. Aha.
Killer.
Yeah, you know, there are some players that we remember, but then we don't know which tier are they in. Like, for example, Oscar Gomez. I'm not sure if he's in the top tier or one. So, but he was there. You definitely remember my performances back and something about him. So
For me,
I'm about to leave, guys. But what I'm saying is, this is what I'm saying. This is a complete statement. Junior Kanye is a legend, whether you guys like it or not. Whether you guys
back to Junior.
Whether you guys do whatever, Junior Kanye is a chief legend.
they've bought you.
And he's the most profile legend we know currently, Junior Kanye.
Maputi Kenyeza is more of a legend than Junior Kai.
Actually,
Mm.
siyabonga Nomvete.
Yeah,
Yeah,
seven of them. Yeah.
Benny McCaffrey as Ajax legend.
No.
No.
Legend yabona,
no,
Kumo,
he's like
legend
a
yabona.
But then again, the other thing is that you touched on it, Mr. OT. We are ignoring the small clubs. I mean, there was Manning Rangers which won the league. There was a Santos which won the league. So clearly there were some players who were great in those clubs. There, I remember there was a certain Elton Mering who played for Manning Rangers.
Yeah,
Then
Golden Arrows.
and he was consistently scoring goals for them, even though they were, I mean, a relegation team at some point. But he was consistently scoring. Even at SuperSport, there was Abram Rasaliman, I think. So he was consistently scoring goals now for Bona. So you see, that's the thing. We need to classify Lamataful because there are certain players from smaller clubs who would make certain tables also.
Yeah.
Because now when you go back to Abu Rangers, I'm thinking of Musa Otieno, I'm thinking of Sebastian Bucks.
Who was the captain of Santos, man? There was that captain of Santos. I'm forgetting his name now.
Mang Maurice.
Before him.
Something, I don't know.
Okay, let's do this. Next week, we'll have this again. But let's go and put in names of legends and not just of our teams. Like, and guys, when I say legends, I mean top tier legends. Like the guys, you know, when you say Mtogisi, for example, I want those type of guys from 2000. Let's do that. Because I want to do legend chat. Hey.
But before we close, can we just correct one thing? Junior Kanye is not a Chiefs. Thank you.
Hey, Nazo. Hi guys, thank you guys so much for joining me. For those who are listening on TikTok, Facebook, or YouTube, this was a members only stream. We have a WhatsApp group where we speak about this stuff. These are the members of the WhatsApp group. We have great conversations in there. Fridays are for them. If you want to become a member, it's 20 Rand a month on YouTube. You become a member on YouTube, join one of the memberships. 20 Rand a month, you get access. Then we have shows that are just for us, where we speak about whatever it is, and it's run by them. So yeah, please consider doing that. If you want to watch any of the previous episodes and any of the discussions we've had throughout any of the months, they are available in full on Facebook and on YouTube. You can check them out there. So do me a favor, following the TikTok page, following the Facebook page, and also subscribing on YouTube. This show is Monday to Friday, 12:30 in the afternoon. Monday to Wednesday at 8 p.m. We also do watch-alongs, whether it be Bafana, Banyana, whether it be Chiefs, Pirates, and Sundowns. Those are the majority of the teams that we look at and we do watch-alongs of. We're going to be doing Bafana tomorrow. Thank you so much to everybody that joined. Thank you to my esteemed members of the panel. Thank you so much. Monday we'll be back again. Tomorrow we'll watch Bafana. I'll see you guys then tomorrow.